Common Problems Found in EVM Systems and Recommended Corrective Actions, Part 3. This is the third part of a 5-part series regarding IMS health problems, data item noncompliance, planning package misuse. Several years ago, the Defense Contract Management Agency, DCMA, issued the 14-point assessment metrics. 12 of the metrics are related to the health of the Integrated Master Schedule, IMS, while the remaining 2, Critical Path Length Index and Baseline Execution Index, are tripwire metrics for schedule performance. Of the 12 health metrics, H&A has found that most discrepancy reports, DRs, are associated with missing logic, high total float, and high duration. The DCMA uses logic checks to identify any incomplete tasks that are missing a successor or predecessor, or both. As a rule of thumb, all activities should be tied to at least one predecessor and one successor, with the exception of the first and last activities, respectively, in the project. By the DCMA standards, there is an allowance of 5% for activities not having these types of relationships, but some believe that may be too loose. Total float, or total slack, for Microsoft project users is the amount of time an activity can be delayed or expanded before the finish date of the project is affected. The primary drivers for inappropriate high total float are missing successor linkages or planning well in advance of need. For this metric, however, there are many conditions that may drive a high total float value that are perfectly legitimate. This is especially true for longer projects and production projects that often receive materials well in advance of need. The DCMA Program Analysis Pamphlet classifies incomplete activities with a baseline duration greater than 44 working days as having high duration, and again having applied a 5% threshold to the metric. The fear of very long tasks is that they may not provide enough precision for measurement of accomplishment and will introduce subjectivity into the statusing process. As with total float, there may be conditions that drive high-duration activities that are justifiable. The IMS is a critical management tool, and the purpose of the health metrics is to ensure that it provides an accurate plan and reliable forecasting for program management and execution. The basic approach to resolving DRs written for IMS health issues is to first take all the necessary steps to improve the real health of the schedule using the metrics as indicators. This process should require the CAMs and their scheduling support staff to justify any conditions that may drive tripping a metric. The contractor should work with its customer to gain a mutual understanding of the conditions that may legitimately result in high total float and high duration activities. Contractors should try to avoid taking illogical actions, such as adding unnecessary linkages or arbitrarily breaking tasks into small durations, simply to meet the metric requirements. The IMS health metrics are simply indicators of potential issues. If the nature of the program were one where relatively higher total float values or high durations are to be expected, the appropriate thresholds for tripping a metric may be higher than the standard 44 days. The reports that are generated from an EVMS or IMS and delivered to the customer are usually placed on the contract by the incorporation of a data item description, DID, and included in the Contract Data Requirements List, CDRL. As of June 2012, both earned value and schedule reporting are included in the Integrated Program Management Report, IPMR, DI MGMT 81861. It is important to generate the system reports in accordance with the appropriate DID, as the requirements have changed with progressive releases. Software programs used to generate the IPMR formats have reduced the amount of data-specific errors in the reports. However, there are many requirements in the IPMR that are not related to data reporting. In the requirements for the Format 5, explanations and problem analyses, for example, there are 9 discussion requirements in addition to the required explanations for cost and schedule variances that exceed the variance thresholds. The narrative portions of the IPMR cannot be generated by a software tool. When DID noncompliance is found and communicated to the contractor, the best immediate approach is correction and resubmittal of the document. Noncompliance is most likely a discipline issue, which requires a structured approach to developing the report, training the personnel who are responsible, and a thorough review prior to submittal. It may be worthwhile to develop a buddy system with another program or another part of the company to exchange outside review and evaluation of data items. This type of accountability can be mutually beneficial. A planning package is far-term effort in a control account that cannot yet be subdivided into detailed work packages. Planning packages share similar attributes as work packages, such as a time-phased budget, a scope of work, start and finish dates, and must have enough detail in the IMS to support the development of a critical path. There can be no accomplishment or actual costs recorded against the scope and budget that is defined in a planning package. When enough information is available to detail plan the planning packages, they are converted to work packages. This is done through a process called rolling wave planning, and it is a good practice to have the detailed information available for at least 6 months in advance. Advanced detailed planning is an effective approach to avoid unpleasant surprises, such as lack of availability of the necessary resources or the necessity to begin a hiring exercise. Company EVMS System Description Documents, SDDs, should provide guidance for rolling wave planning, including rules for any baseline adjustment in the current or near-term periods. It is important that planning packages are not allowed to exist in the current or past periods. It is also improper for any actual costs, ACWP, or performance, BCWP, to be recorded against a planning package. In addition to ACWP and BCWP, there should also be no cumulative BCWS in the current period for any planning package. Cumulative BCWS is the most notable evidence that a planning package was not converted to a work package in a timely manner. The most common corrective action is to conduct a monthly analysis of the EVM data to identify planning packages that are nearing the planning period. If there is no guidance or process written for rolling wave planning, these should be developed to provide instructions to the CAMs and the support staff. It is also critical that organizations maintain the restrictions in the earned value engines that prohibit the accrual of earned value or actual costs for planning packages.